Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again. So, we didn't necessarily miss much, didn't we? Since I left it. Bit of scam pumping, bit of scam dumping. It seems to me that London is back at opening. Almost exactly. So all the London session did from the opening was go down 0.5%, go back up 0.5%. Or slightly more maybe. 0.7 down, 0.8 back up. Little bit of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗡. So New York probably isn't based on historic data right now. New York will probably go up. And I don't want to say I'm tired of winning, but I am very fucking tired of this PA. Jesus, look at this. Look at the 4-hour candles, guys. What is this? What am I looking at? Alright. Amazing. So great, PA. Absolutely untradeable. But there's that. How are you guys doing? How was your morning? How was your day? And here he is. Hello. Yeah, it's becoming more and more of a clown show by the day, to be honest. Feeling better? No, not really. No. I'm still trash, but I'm slightly less trashy, I guess. But it's fine. So it looks to me that we're building a similar structure to this, where we shift out again. Where we're holding the previous high. As you see in the 4-hour, they sort of always do the same. Like they dump back, then they start grinding up and they shift out. On every time frame they do the same. Grinding, shifting out, grinding, shifting out. And that's also the meta on the higher time frame. Because higher low, higher low, higher low, shift out. But it's a bit obnoxious, to be honest. Imagine how we feel. Bro, I can't even imagine how you guys feel. Listen, this is my full-time job. And I sit here and trade for a living. That's how I make my money. So I can't even imagine how it has to be for other people. It must be excruciating and exhausting. How far do you think we go? I think 80.4 is on the table, man. I think 80.4 is very much on the table. Yeah, 80.4, 80.5. That's also where I'm gonna close my hatch. 80.4 and then reaction sub 70. Bro, sub 70 is a big ask, my friend. Sub 70 is a really, really big ask for the current price action. My name is Jeff. Yeah, that's what this PA is giving me. Dump it, dump it, dump it. I don't know. Long or short, if you're not in a position, don't touch it right now. How much are they liquidating? to casual. Imagine making 11 million on the last hour. Today's bank holiday, so no volume. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's no volume, my friend. Trust me. But yes, it is a bank holiday. It's not even a bank holiday in... No, you're wrong. It's not. In Germany and in France it is. Not in the US. Oh. Do you think that China, USD, and clarity sell the news? I think it's gonna be an initial push up. Why? Because they always do that. And I even tweeted about it this morning. I think it's gonna be a case of that they pump, but everyone's gonna go absolutely horrendously long on it. And then from that long, that's where the fun begins. Because ETFs was similar news, right? And ETFs afterwards went down, was it 21, 22%? But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Right now, there's not much happening in general. That's why I don't think it's gonna be a very long stream. I love to entertain you guys, but it there needs to be something for me to do, right? Always helping us with your time and knowledge. Yeah, I love to. So if you guys have any questions, feel absolutely free to ask. And I'll answer whatever question I can. Looks like it's pumping now. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's pumping up, eh? What gave it away? Like the last green hour? And can you help me with what indicators to use? I would, before you even go to indicators. Listen, liquidations is very, very powerful, and we're releasing our own liquidation indicator. Next to liquidations, I think it's just important to have your risk management in check. If you have your risk management fixed, PA becomes less and less important. And that would be my suggestion. Just fix it. But yeah, it's pumping back again. It's probably gonna take liquidity at 80k because why the fuck not, huh? What prop firm did you recommend the other day? Breakout. So join the Discord. There's a code for Breakout. And if you use that code, you get a chance to win one of the 3 1K accounts as well. As a way of putting EMAs in the indicator, they are already in the Chento on top indicator. As you can see, even with the clouds of if it's bullish or bearish. As you can see here, it turned bearish again, right? On the lower time frame on the clouds. So yeah, we're definitely doing that. Please explain a little about FlowX. FlowX is our own liquidity tool. It's basically almost everything I use for trading now. And what it has is it shows you the liquidations. It shows you the live influx of exchanges in terms of orders and also in terms of money flow. And as you can see on the 1 hour, everything is turned bullish with a positive flow of over 100 million. On the 4 hour, everything is bullish, and on the daily there's still some pushback. But on the 4 hour, we have a positive money flow of 35 million. So this money flow tells you basically where people are positioning, and if there's positive or negative inflow. That will be grand support. Who do we send? Send it to John in the Discord. John is your go-to guy. Feels like a short squeeze. Could be in the air all the way to 81.2. Yeah, I think shorts have it had too easy. Right now it's just waiting, watching paint dry. But yeah, definitely feels like a short squeeze. Listen, the thing is, you can see it everywhere, right? Crypto's losing traction. Or I'm losing traction and I'm just old news. But you can see crypto Twitter drying up. You can see the news about crypto drying up. It just... the market gets slightly boring, and that's mostly when big moves are bound to happen, right? Same as the movement now. We marked price back up to the London high towards the Asia high as well. Or the London opening, London high and Asia high prior to New York. It's... I do think it could go to 84k. I never said I think that it can't. It's just... the rationality behind Bitcoin going to 84k is stupid. Like what does it have at this level that would make even remotely sense? Even with the treasury, even with everything going forward. Look at this. There's influx again. Look at the volume on that candle. That's insane. While CVD on spot is dropping. So this is a perps driven move. This is a fully perps driven move. And they're just trying to take out the liquidity. There it is. 3 million taken. Liquidity prior to New York. I think New York is going to stop hunt up. We're going to 80.4 again. Again. Why? Because they're bitches. What is the best risk management you can give us? Look at the average move that each session makes a week. And the average move that a session makes, for example, if London makes a 1.5% move on average, or take the session you want to trade. So the best way to do risk management is if New York on average makes a 2.5% move, then that 2.5% has to be your 3R, right? Or let's take 2.4%. If you're trading 1 to 3R, 2.4 is your 3. So that means that 0.8 is your risk. I would always scale it, because I'd always scale it towards session moves. unless you're swing trading, but then people have the tendency to insanely overexpose themselves and be completely irrational. If you want to have a rational setup, like take the New York session, look at the average move in New York, and based on the average move that New York made, for example, in a week or a month, that's your top air upside, right? So if you're trading 1 to 3R and the New York move is 2.4%, the 2.4 is your 3. And then your risk is 1/3 of that because it's 1 to 3. So that's 0.8. 3R, yeah. Normally a risk, RR is risk reward. So your risk is 1 and your reward has to be a multiple of the risk. That's obvious, right? Is that clear for everyone? How DCA hedges on 𝗨𝗶𝗴, please? Yeah, let's do that next stream, because then I will make a fresh account and I start fresh from there. So let's take the London's or take the Asia session, right? Because it's a bit of a peculiar one. So this was 1.4%. So your risk at this one, I would not exceed 0.5. So if I wanted to trade the Asia session only, long position, then your risk has to max be 0.5%, and then your profit should be, let me measure 0.5, is my math is correct, 0.5 has to, there. So this is what on average then your setup would look like. Because you want to have the total move, so it should exponentially move this as well. So there. So this would then be the move you would be looking for in an Asia session. Why do it like that? Because this way you're always certain. It was a bit confusing for newbies. Okay. So, you have two ways of doing it, right? Example. Asia session. Move is 2%. 1R risk, 3R reward. Easiest method. 2% divided by 4. Why? Because it's 1R downside, 3R upside. Is 0.5%. 0.5% move. So if I take a 2% total, Jesus, I have to zoom out for this. That compressed. Okay, we have a 2% move, right? Look what happens if I would put a long position here. And of this, 0.5 is the bottom. So I have to put this one here. Now it's 0.34. That's of course not great risk reward ratio. Yeah, this is price driven. So now it would be a 3.13% or 3.13R risk reward. What time frame? It doesn't matter. If you look at a session. But I always look at the session total move and either do it like this is safest. Or you divide it by 3, but then your risk reward is less good. Alright, but you need to have, it's irrational. It's irrational to go bigger than that. Why? Because how big is the chance that if you... Listen, I see people that are saying, listen, I have 1 to 3R risk reward, right? And then they use leverage, I don't know, 10. But their downside risk is 4 or 5%. So they're risking 40% on board. Then I'm looking at like, bro, what are you trying to achieve? Because you can say, yeah, stick to my risk reward, but then you're just lying to yourself. So risk reward, I would just take a session, divide it by 4, 1 to 3, and trade that. Because then you only need to win 1 out of 3 as well. By the way, in the meantime that I'm talking, what the fuck is this candle again? Or better said, what is this scandal? But that's how you calculate risk reward. Do 1 to 4, but take... Yeah, you can do whatever you want. But a rule of thumb is 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. Well, Biddy one's up. I don't know why, but Biddy one's up. And we're at 80k. Congratulations, everyone. We made it again. Well, that's just 0.5% of a candle. Nothing fancy here. And of course, London went above the Asia opening. Or the Asia close, so that means that officially London has pumped and Asia has pumped again. So that gives us a 75% probability that New York is gonna pump as well. And why would New York pump? Well, for the obvious reason that, and why wouldn't it? Everything appears to be bullish, even though that every sign within the global economy says different. 7 minutes out of opening. Interest rates on short-term treasuries are now lower than inflation, so investors have to go down the risk curve. So you're telling me that because inflation is so high, they're taking more risk? While we have the current global situation with Iran? Bro, I'm skeptical, man. Listen, whatever it is, the fact of the matter is that we're probably going to go up again. It's that easy. Why? Because Bitcoin is an irrational cunt. An absolutely irrational cunt. I can't word it any different. And it's just marking up prior to New York. See, like the low we made here. It's... Listen, until either, and I said it this morning as well, they're either 84.4 or 74.4 is taken, there's not much for me to do than sit in my hedge and just yap. Absolutely yap. It's 5 minutes till New York. The market looks like wants to shoot itself in the head. So that's pretty funny as well. Look at these 5-second candles. It's hilarious. If you guys want to trade KYC, KuCoin is the way to go. I would normally trade on KuCoin as well now, but I'm just, like I said, there's no way for me to take a position. I don't know what position to take right now. And that's why I'm not trading, I'm just talking to you guys and chatting. What's the rest doing? Oh man, if stocks are gonna open up again. Oil is down, oil is dropping below 100 again, gold is up. NASDAQ, nasty deck. Seems to me that NASDAQ might be coming down actually, slightly, nothing severely, but slightly. The rest is just, yeah. Listen, these are the hardest times to trade in because there's no clear direction. There's not really something to do. It's just fully patient driven. And right now in markets like this, preserving capital is the most important thing you can do. theoretically is almost the only thing you can do. But that jokes aside. Or it's the only thing you should do. Like the goal in markets like this is to trade less. And try to preserve as much capital as you can. But what if China and US decide to stop the war this week and that the Russia-Ukraine war comes to a halt? Doesn't it look like they're planning this in advance to pump the economy? Bro, if my mom had balls, it probably would have been my dad. And the thing is, how are you going to pump an economy that is semi-written off because apparently they're unable to cool inflation, right? Oh, old chart is annoying me like this. I'll take the other one. So I don't know, you tell me. For me, there's not much useful to say. How the 5-second candle helps you? It shows me absorption and what actually liquidates what. Like I managed to spot that the second time we went, like the first time yesterday we went to the low, we liquidated 50 million. Second time we liquidated 50 million again. So it means that only half of the order book there was filled. And that shit I can see in the 5-second. Next to that, it gives you closer insight. And it's also slightly way more entertaining, let's be honest. It's funnier to look at the 5-second, isn't it, guys? At least. That's me. More liquidity up or down at the moment, boss? I'm not ignoring you, I'm checking. Depends on the levels. 81.6 is pretty damn stacked. They will pump the economy because they have to push the AI revolution through without delay. That is the most important thing the big boys want to accomplish. Looks like they don't care about inflation. Seems like it. That they're playing games at a way deeper and way bigger level. But they're gonna kill every average Joe there is, to be honest. They're absolutely gonna annihilate and fuck them. Welcome, New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. You behemoth of an idiot. Oil is dumping. What are the stock markets gonna do? Yeah, they're gonna pump. I'm like 90% sure they're gonna pump Bitcoin, to be honest. Where you still close your short? No, depends on my hedge, to be honest. My hedge is pretty nicely right now. Lol. What lol? NASDAQ is down. The Dow Jones is up. Ooh, with daddy NASDAQ down, that's a whole different beast, guys. Oil looks to be slightly recovering. On NASDAQ is up again. Look at how Bitcoin, it looks like that Bitcoin is mostly correlating to NASDAQ as of now. As of now. Thank you for the information. You're more than welcome, buddy. So 300 beautiful people watching. Smash the fucking like button. I won't ask again. Maybe threatening helps, I don't know. I tried polite multiple ways. Let me get the AC up slightly before my balls freeze off here. Why are you using earbuds instead of a headphone? It's connected to the audio thing. So it's easy to have in ears, and that's yeah. Listen, the honest answer is this is how Bandra has set things up, and I'm not gonna fuck with it. Listen, even the New York Opens are becoming boring. Guys, we're still at 89 likes. Come on. What up? Shouldn't you be sleeping, man? It's late. CVD not agreeing at all? No. But the influx of volume, if you look at the money flow and the hourly, is heavily positive. It's like plus 180 million. So if the influx doesn't change, it's crazy. Oh, hello. Hello. NASDAQ is pumping. Bitcoin is dumping. NASDAQ rallied 0.2%. S&P is up. Dow Jones is up. VIX is up. Oil is slightly going down. Looks to be going below 100. And Bitcoin now all of a sudden is a counter trade. It's giving me a headache. I see the market's dumping us again. Bro, I have legitimately zero clue what I'm seeing or what I'm thinking right now. And I know, listen, I started live streaming in the most horrific period in the market. I have to grind it out, but this is... You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Hard not to swear on banter, innit? I'm streaming on my own channel, so I can do whatever I want. Also on banter, I can still do. Look at these scandals. When you think the market will settle down and we were able to trade it, my issue is currently, if I look at the market, and I was just chatting to some guys at the office about it as well. So what's happening is, I think market makers are artificially inflating the daily volume because we can see that the volume is not there, right guys? So the trading volume that has been there is not there anymore. So there's less people in the market, there's less volume in the market, yet it looks like that the trading volume is the same. But look at this, look at these candles. You cannot do this without that pressure if the order books are liquid, all right? And I can tell you, they're not. So the fact that there's no liquidity in the order books, yet it looks like that there's the same volume, it means that B booking and market makers are doing the volume. Retail is getting effed left, right, and center because I'm not allowed to swear anymore. So what's happening right now is, in the previous bull market, there were 160 real exchanges. So 160. Keep that number in mind. Let me write that down for you. Previous bull market, 160 exchanges, give or take. Current status, 680 and counting exchanges. With currently lower liquidity. What's my issue with this? It's not the exchanges, right? Yeah, it is the exchanges because half of them are B-booking and they didn't get smaller or less people. So operational and running cost are the same, and running costs are the same. Who the fuck pays? Retail by liquidations. Meaning, previously, zero-sum game. I win, you lose, you win, I lose, minus trading fees. minus trading fees, trading exchanges. Now, actively, liquidity is taken from the market. And this is the equation, and this is the big issue that I cannot solve. What up? What up? So, this is the issue. So in the previous bull market, 160 exchanges were there, give or take. Now, at the current setting, there's more than 680 active trading exchanges. They didn't get smaller, they didn't have less people, even though there were layoffs, etc. But software costs, running costs, AWS, yada yada yada, still remains semi at the same price point, because AI, hardware and everything, or hosting or cloud hosting didn't become cheaper, right? We can all agree on that. What in the dildo am I watching again, by the way? Sorry, I got distracted by this Fugazi candle. Fugazi. So because it didn't get smaller, the money still has to come in, right? And now they're taking it from retail. And indeed, the whole market lost 40%, being 1.7 trillion. Crypto market cap down 1.7 trillion since September. How can we then still inflate the order books to a level where it looks that we're doing the same trading volume? Because if you go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or whatever, and you check out the trading volume, it looks to be semi-similar to the levels where it has been. And this is my issue with the current market, and this is why I think we should see a big dump, because exchanges need to go bankrupt. Exchanges need to lose money, certain altcoins need to lose more money, and then we get a total reset of the financial system that is called crypto exchanges and is called crypto in general, right? But without a proper reset, and without either, I don't want to call it regulations because that would kill us, but this is the biggest problem within the industry right now. They're inflating books, they're taking money, and it's not a zero-sum game anymore. It used to be, but now you're fighting the market making instead of each other. So instead of PvP, it's player versus institution, or it's player versus exchange. That's a whole different ballgame. And this means that every day these liquidations are ramping up and ramping up and ramping up. People are losing more and more money. And if you lose money, you're not necessarily happy to come back and go back to a certain thing that, you know, if you always lose money, except it's a supermarket because you gotta fucking eat, you don't get more and more enthusiastic about going there, am I wrong? Why would regulations kill us? Because look at the Mika, right? The people that are writing the regulations are normally not on the frontier of innovation. Mostly they're very traditional, wearing a suit and tie, and they're from banks and they ask a shit ton of money, and in the end it's not really getting better or us to the point where we actually want to be. So that's why I think that regulations is not per se the right way forward, because Mika kills all of leverage, everything, and the whole business model from the exchange. That having said, this is also not a great option. I do feel like we're in the big short as well. We might even be at the final leg. But as of now, the market can stay irrational way longer than we can stay liquid. And trust me, the irrationality part it's doing. Would you say if we manage to preserve money in these market conditions, and if we make a bit of profit along, we will kill it when the market settles? Yeah. Listen, in the end, Bitcoin has limited supply, right? So with limited supply and with an asset class that is here to stay, and I still think it's here to stay, on Bitcoin you will make money. I deliberately never traded altcoins, shitcoins and whatever. Why? Because I don't care. For me, they're too illiquid. There's not enough money to be made in return in regards to the risk. So if you now make 10-15% of your port, you have some extra pocket change, you have some extra money to play with, bro, you're gonna kill it. Because Bitcoin is gonna end up at 150, 250k in a couple of cycles. And if we now get a great entry at, let's say, 55, 50, right? Jesus, banter. After following you, I've stopped trading altcoins. Good. At least some people are getting smart, right? Mika, look it up. MICA. It's basically Mika regulations. I had to deal with it with 2-bit as well. It's a headache, man. Okay, so Bitcoin tried to attempt to go to the lows 2 times. I'll take this off the screen, right? Because everyone has read it now and understood it. We can clip it later because I think that's a great video. Look at NASDAQ. Bro, do I even want to look at NASDAQ? NASDAQ is on crack. I want what that's having. I legitimately want what NASDAQ is having. It's like 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑 in a... It's like Bob the Builder on cocaine. Better just use 10-15x on BTC than 3x on OATs. Bro, just trade Bitcoin, you know? The average move Bitcoin makes a day, like look at a day like yesterday, right? Or even as today. So, we made the low, we went back up, it's a 1.8%. If you do that correctly, we get a 2 to 2.4% average move a day. I backchecked the data. 2.4% average daily move. It's more than enough to make money. I'm gonna tell you guys the harsh truth. If you can't make enough money off of Bitcoin, you don't have enough capital. And certain people, if this is your last $100 or whatsoever, get the fuck out of this market. Because this is not for you. Oh, nice little scam pump. NASDAQ jumped 30% in 6 weeks. Yeah, I was saying that. War is the best thing ever happened to NASDAQ. But oil is also slowly creeping back up. How will the market be better, you think, if it ever becomes not horrible? I don't know. It will remain like this. Why? Because it has to piss people off. People need to get to the point of... A market will never make sense. Why? If it makes sense, everyone is making money. And a market can't have everyone making money. So it's... I get why it is irrational. I get why it sucks. I get why it's doing this. It's completely understandable. Don't get me wrong. But... there are certain things... like straight lines and printing money out of thin air. And that's what's happening now in the global economy. Trying a short at the CMP. Oh, you can. And right now the irrationality and the unhealthiness of the current market and its market structure is insane. But you can see it in everything, right? Either people have lost interest in Bitcoin or in me. Both works. The live streams get less viewed, even banter is getting less views, Twitter algorithms are getting less interest. I think Twitter was the except one more most muted category there was on Twitter with the new algorithm. It's insane. So people are just genuinely losing and lacking interest in crypto. That's mostly not a bullish sign, is it? Wow, the market keeps going up. Normally, when everyone is interested in it, that's when the market goes up. And then all of a sudden they dump it. Why? Because they collected enough retail money. But now even retail is telling and showing like we don't give a flying fuck. Yeah, retail comes normally at the top. Oh, they're grinding up again. Listen, I think Bitcoin's preparing for an absolute face ripper to the upside, to be honest. I would be insanely surprised if Bitcoin goes down. I would be genuinely surprised. But they're holding it at the Asia high and London opening. Like, drop that on it. But yeah. Maybe if the market makers didn't screw everyone over, more people would be interested. It's not just the market makers, like I just explained earlier. It's the earnings model of exchanges that has been dramatically changed. So they want to keep afloat, and by trying to stay afloat, they just screw everyone. Institutional bid happening right now instead of retail-driven move. I'm just spitballing. No. Institutional is selling, man. Coinbase is negative. Coinbase is actually selling off again. So that means that there's ETF outflow. Why? Because Coinbase is the only one that holds the license for institutional wallets. Oh, there's the Ripper. Listen, they're just loading 80.4. I'm telling you right now, it's all they're doing. They're loading 80.4 to 80.6, maybe even higher if they feel like it. I would be genuinely surprised if they're not going to take out above 80k again and bring us back there. What I don't get is that this small move to the downside actually liquidated 9 million in longs. So that little push they did here was already 9 million in longs. That's crazy. That's legitimately crazy. That's a lot. So that means that there's exponentially more money to the downside than there is to the upside. But the market just refuses it. And we've seen the same thing, right? When we were at 80k or 85, everyone said we need to retrace. When we went down to mid 70s, everyone said 83 is full. 83 is full. We need to take that liquidity. And the market's like, ah, fuck, I don't. On the daily, it's selling, man. Institutional bid happening. Coinbase selling over what on the daily because it's the most prominent exchange for retail? No, Coinbase is interesting because they're the only one that have the institutional license for the ETF. ETFs can only buy and sell over Coinbase because, like I said, they're the only one that have the license. That's why. So they're not retail, they're not predominantly retail or whatever, they're just licensed for spot inflow and outflow because they have the custodial license. Oil is going up. It's NASDAQ. And NASDAQ coming down, that's a joke. How do you always see reversals? By looking at liquidation numbers? Yeah. Liquidation numbers are a big part. Liquidation numbers and dwell zones. So it's fairly easy to spot also in terms of movement, right? Because it was a sharp move, and you see that the wicks are happening to the downside. That's why I'm thinking that this is going higher, because of these two wicks here. The market normally, currently the market is programmed to, as soon as you start seeing wicks to the downside, same as here, we're shifting out. Wicks to the downside, shifting out. Wicks to the downside, shifting out. As soon as the market is showing those signs of that it's refusing to go. So basically Coinbase institutions, if we were to simplify. Yeah, that's what I just said. Not even simplifying it, it's probably the truth. Look, they're building another wick to the downside. I'm telling you, this shit is gonna go up. I have to be severely mistaken if this is coming down. That would be surprising to me as well. Grab liquidity, shift out, repeat. Yeah. Chento, so now it's big dogfight. MMs versus MMs. Yeah. Theoretically it is. Because retail is not really, you know, retail is slightly MIA. There's no retail volume. But it's understandable. Like, who the fuck would put his money in this? And honestly, if I was you, I would swing this, not day trade it. When you close positions, do you close by market? I market. Because I don't necessarily get filled very well on limit orders. That's a bit of my issue. So I just market order and eat the fees. Yup. So again, guys, if you guys want to trade KYC, want to trade safe, have great liquidity, make sure to use the KubeCoin link below. It will also give you VIP in our free Discord. That link is pinned as the top comment as well. It's the only way that we make money, and by making that money, we pay the software team, we pay everything around it, and that's how I can keep everything for free, because I refuse to keep paying everything out of pocket. Like the hosting costs, the software, the development, the team, the Discord, etc, etc. So make sure to join the free Discord. And yeah, something I saw on X, the whale has opened 80 million BTC and ahead of today's 𝗘𝗘𝗓𝗍 voting. Couldn't fucking care less. 𝗨𝗏𝗴 is definitely the best non-KYC for me, yeah. No, swings is just, I DCA my swing positions. Scalps are more single entry and it's a time frame, right? What was up, Crypto God John? Comment yesterday about 𝗨𝗏𝗴. Listen, I think they have a huge affiliate deal with 𝗨𝗏𝗴. And 𝗨𝗏𝗴 might have pulled the plug because they weren't delivering or whatever. Listen, I have 3 million on the exchange. I would know if they were illiquid because, trust me, sources is trust me. Yeah, I assume it's something like that. I don't know. I can ask John or ask 𝗨𝗏𝗴 as well. It was a bit peculiar. I've seen it as well. I didn't really pay much. Oh, so NASDAQ is coming down now. And Bitcoin's going up. Huh? Interesting. Trading happens will BTC pump or will fund flow to stocks than crypto? I have no fucking clue. Listen, I think this is gonna be an event, especially also the 𝗘𝗘𝗓𝗍 Act. I've said it a couple times now, so we'll stop repeating myself after this. I think it's gonna be an ETF lookalike. So it's gonna pump a couple percent and then come down hard, screaming. Why? Because then everyone wants to go long, and the markets don't pay longs. They will. Huh? Fuck you, Nick. Where did you even find... Listen, the fact that you looked for the star emoji makes it worth it for me, man. Genuinely. Yeah, you must have put a little effort in that. Because you did not have that locked and loaded. I'm like 100% sure. But yeah. Yeah. There's just not much to update, guys. Not much to do. Even the first 30 minutes of New York ain't freaking fireworks anymore. Imagine, New York is watching paint dry. Crazy. Not even grabbing the liquidity at the 80.2. Wussies. Ooh, NASDAQ coming more and more down. Oh yeah, NASDAQ. Imagine NASDAQ a red day. Can't remember the last time. Can't recall. Do you think that crypto god John is a scammer? Well, within crypto, everyone has his own way of making money. Some are more peculiar than others. I think he done well for himself. I think he made good money. Do you think 𝗘𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗪 will pump Bitcoin? Maggie, watch back 2 minutes ago. I think some ways are more of making money are more peculiar than others. He made money. To say he's a scammer is a big word, but I don't think he's gonna win the award for most ethical influencer. I think that's a pretty nice description. Oh. Yeah, the Clarity Act is gonna be interesting. Down we go. Yes, you've seen that correctly. We are indeed going down. Thank you very much. It's the right music for it as well. The reason I say it is because he keeps on shitting the same micros in his Discord group. It's going to go up, hard down. I think that's sort of what I just said, right? He won't win the prize for most ethical influencer. But he did very well for himself. I think 𝗏𝗏 group is different because one, they ask a lot of money just for people in there. They also had a trader that was talking in third person view. Also very odd. But they have different business models. Like, I make my money trading. I like to focus on myself and on my Discord. What others do is, it's up to them, right? So yeah, that's my 2 cents about it. In the end, he is one of the driving factors and one of the big names in the industry. And he has done very good things for the industry as well. Third person, yeah. Nick, you know exactly who I mean. Some people are just, what's this 5-minute candle on NASDAQ? Scam deck. You know who I'm talking about, Nick. Okay, this is just... Feel going full port today. Ayo, as long as you lose my ref link, man. I'm really enjoying the trade setups, all of them. Yeah, I think we have a great team with great traders, with a big variety in there as well. In terms of setup, methodology, way of thinking. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to call it my team, and I'm very glad to be with these guys. Someone just opened 80 million long on Bitcoin. Must be Baron Trump, maybe. Chento, do challenge about breakout? I will. So I'm starting Sunday evening if my internet is not down and I can actually enter the office here at 11 o'clock in the evening. Jesus. What's your favorite in the team? Bro, I don't have a favorite. Everyone has his own skill set, right? So I don't have a favorite. I think everyone has their value. Everyone has their strong. Some are more characters than others. Like, for example, 𝗕𝗏𝗏, he doesn't talk much in general. He just does his thing. It's, you know, you love it or you hate it. I think Paladin is super active as well. Nick has been with us for years. Yasin is great at higher leverage. Number is great with his order flow. Everyone is having his own skill set. 𝗏𝗏 is good with his Elliott wave. It's, I don't know. Damn, never mind POC bounce. Yes, man. Different opinions is interesting. Yeah, it is. I think 𝗏𝗏 is the best. I think I'm the best. Who am I to say? Oh shit. Okay, guys. What happened to the trader that was very active in Discord? He thought he could do better and he grew an ego the size of Mount Rushmore. Probably second behind John. Yeah, John, it's fine. Guys, the market is not doing a lot. I have a meeting that I have to attend. Watch out what NASDAQ is doing because Bitcoin looks to be correlated 1-1 to NASDAQ. Hit the like button on the way out. I'm gonna catch you out tomorrow. This is one of the weirdest streams I've done in a long time. It looks like everyone is just absolutely done with crypto at the moment. And I catch you out tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bro, there's no way I can say your name. There's legitimately no way I can pronounce that.